What's up, Taiwan? I'm Sandy Chief with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. China and the US are touting progress on thawing ties after a pivotal meeting between US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Chinese President Xi Jinping. But as Rick Lauers reports, the issue of Taiwan continues to loom large over relations between the world's two largest superpowers.
An all-important handshake and a chance to mend a rocky relationship. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken's rare meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing is being held as a step towards stability after years of mounting tensions between the rival superpowers. China and the US agreed to more high-level meetings and cooperations on issues including climate change and narcotics. But there were no clear breakthroughs as the world's two largest economies still clash over trade, security and Taiwan. Beijing flagged Taiwan, which it claims as part of its territory, as one of its red lines. The US is a key Taiwan ally and provides Taipei with the weapons it needs to defend itself as Beijing ups its threats, including sending military boats and planes into the area around the democratic country. But Washington is also careful not to undermine Beijing's claim.
I raised U.S. concerns, shared by a growing number of countries, about the PRC's provocative actions in the Taiwan Strait, as well as in the South and East China Seas. On Taiwan, I reiterated the long-standing U.S. One China policy. That policy has not changed.
Taiwan's foreign ministry says it appreciates US support in the face of China's aggression. Xi Jinping has made unification with Taiwan one of his top priorities, putting the US in an increasingly delicate position.
Obviously, the United States, because of its increasing cooperation and coordination with Taiwan on a number of areas, is walking on a bit of a tightrope. We've made it very clear that we're hoping to, compete with China, but we don't want to have conflict with China.
The warmth on display in Beijing may indeed indicate a thawing of those frosty US-China ties. But diplomats like Blinken have their work cut out, with issues as potentially incendiary as Taiwan still on the table. Karma Xu and Rick Lauers for TaiwanPlus.
The Yuan, Taiwan's first amphibious support ship, has officially entered service. The vessel is part of the country's push to improve its ship-making capabilities. Yuan reports.
This is Taiwan's first domestically made landing platform dock, the Yuan. It's a type of warship used to transport amphibious vehicles and heavy equipment around Taiwan and its outlying islands. It also has a full range of medical facilities that can be used for disaster relief and international humanitarian missions. The Yuan is the first of 4 ships in its class to be built by Taiwan and is named after the country's highest mountain. It's part of Taiwan's push to boost its domestic ship-making capabilities and become less reliant on other countries for its defense. The ship was delivered to the Navy last year and underwent over a year of testing before entering service.
而成军呢，都是按照军中的期程，经过测评结束相关的程序跑完，该成军的时候就会成军，所以无所谓高调或低调
The 153-meter-long Yuan is currently docked in the southern port city of Kaohsiung. The military says it's now getting ready to deploy the ship on its first mission. Howard Zhang and Yuan for TaiwanPlus.
The ball keeps rolling on Taiwan's biggest Me Too movement. This time, a popular Taiwanese entertainer is in the crosshairs, allegedly sexually harassing a minor more than 10 years ago. Huang has more.
Taiwanese TV host Huang has become the latest celebrity caught in Taiwan's ongoing Me Too movement, part of a global campaign against sexual misconduct. The 51-year-old Huang is accused of sexually harassing a female who was 17 at the time. The allegations say he forcibly kissed and years later took nude photos of her. Huang apologized for the allegations in 3 Facebook videos, but he has since deleted his Facebook and Instagram accounts.
我活该，我只是想要用这些影片提醒大家， 有些事情它会结痂，但你要把它掀开来，会流血的。
After deleting his social media accounts, Huang attempted self-harm and was taken to a hospital in Taipei. Doctors say he is in stable condition. As more people speak out about their alleged abusers, psychiatrists recommend a few ways to combat sexual misconduct.
应该要有一种性骚扰零容忍的心态。一来呢，可以找亲友呢，然后呢输出苦水；二来呢，能够寻求适当的管道，不管是像派出所，或者是性骚扰防治委员会，或是呢这个职场性骚扰，向相关的单位呢去反映。
In recent weeks, more than 100 people have come out against their alleged abusers, turning public opinion against those accused. And as legal cases are prepared to take him to court, perceptions may not change regardless of the final verdict. Alex Chen and Bing Wang for TaiwanPlus.
Human rights groups are joined by new Power Party legislator Qiu Xianzhi as they call on Taiwan's government to pass asylum laws.
贯彻不遣返原则。公开难民法进度。
The local NGO, the Taiwan Association for Human Rights, says it's been making the same demand annually on World Refugee Day for the past 18 years. Lawmakers proposed the first Refugee Act in 2005, but nearly 2 decades later, they still have not completed the legislation. Activists have asked the government to make better asylum policies. They say immigration agents should be trained according to international human rights standards and should not send refugees back to dangerous situations. Taiwan's current law granting asylum only covers people from China, Hong Kong, and Macau, but those from other countries face different treatment.
也不应该因为他们的国籍的差异而有差别待遇。那特别是像针对乌克兰或者是缅甸的个案，其实我们的政府只有提供30天的延长签证，没有提供任何的基本的权利。然后其他国籍的人更不用讲，是连30天的延长签证都没有。
Economists at a leading think tank have lowered their expectations of Taiwan's GDP growth. The Taiwan Research Institute previously predicted GDP growth could surpass 2.5%, but has cut this year's forecast to 1.45%. The revised number is below the central bank's 2% alert, that its minimum target to raise the country's living standards. Analysts say weak global demand is hurting Taiwan's export-oriented economy. U.S. chipmaker Intel will invest $33 billion in Germany as part of the company's expansion into Europe. The money will be used to develop 2 chip-making plants in the east of the country. Chancellor Olaf Scholz says this is Germany's biggest ever single foreign investment. The German government has also pledged to invest $11 billion. Europe is trying to lure big chip makers as it worries about being too dependent on Taiwan for chips. Taiwan's TSMC is planning to set up its first European factory in Germany. It's currently in talks with the German government over subsidies. A tourist submarine taking people to see the wreckage of the Titanic has gone missing. U.S. and Canadian ships and planes are searching for the vessel in an area about 1,500 kilometers east off the North American coast. The U.S. Coast Guard says the submersible had 1 pilot and 4 passengers on board when it disappeared on Sunday. It reportedly lost contact with its support ship less than 2 hours after diving towards the Titanic, the infamous passenger ship that hit an iceberg and sank more than 100 years ago. Taiwan is launching an investigation into how a passenger plane lost one of its nose wheels before arriving at Taoyuan Airport on Monday. Though the plane landed safely, investigators want to know if there were problems with its maintenance. John Van Triest has more.
Ground crews at Taoyuan Airport inspect the nose gear of a plane that touched down on Monday. Only one of the 2 wheels is there. Where the other one went is still unclear. The flight from Seoul, operated by low-cost Singaporean carrier Scoot, landed without any issues. But aviation experts still don't know how the wheel could have come off.
飞机的轮胎，不管是前轮或主轮，它的那个装卸的话，装上去的时候，不但是要螺丝要上紧，而且呢，螺丝该有的地方，它还会打保险丝，所以理论上来讲的话，应该是不会犯这种错。
Taiwanese investigators are now set to step in.
如果牵涉到一些维修的一些状况，发生一些状况，我想包括我们的民航局还有这个相关单位也会做一些调查。
Korean airport workers have found rubber that might be from the missing wheel on their runway, meaning the investigation could soon become an international one. Patrick Chen and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Central Taiwan's Nantou city has decided to downsize its government as its population is declining rapidly. It'll be closing some offices and shrinking staff, but says all employees have been taken care of. The number of Nantou residents have dipped below 100,000 for 3 years straight, with only 420 babies born there last year. To encourage people to have more kids, the city is increasing its childbirth subsidies to almost $1,000. But residents think that's not enough to cover raising childcare and education costs. Calling on all tropical princesses, your castle awaits on a beach near Taipei. Sculptors from across Asia have braved sun, wind, and rain to bring the coast a little fairy tale magic. Joyce Zheng was there.
It's not your average sandcastle. This beach in northern Taiwan is home to an 8-foot homage to Disney's 1937 Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the first full-length animated movie in history. And it's just one of 66 mega creations by Taiwanese, Chinese, and Japanese artists for the annual Fulong International Sand Sculpture Festival.
It's really like walking through memory lane. This is the 16th year that they've hosted the Sand Sculpture Festival here at Fulong Beach, which is about an hour away from Taipei. And this year, it's all about Disney. They've recreated the iconic characters and classic stories and imprinted them literally on the sands of time.
Artist John Cho is a regular sculptor for the festival. He's been honing his craft for 9 years, and this year made 8 different pieces. He says this Toy Story one is his favorite.
那在这一座里面，我其实最喜欢的是卡蹦，就是那个骑机车的那个，所以我会雕的特别的厚，让它看起来呢手跟脚是真的浮在空中。
But capturing such beloved characters in sand is no easy feat.
所以我们常常在做的时候，就是要爬上爬下的。可能我们在上面雕的时候觉得很 OK， 但是到下来看的时候呢，可能脸就拉长了，他的微笑感就没有了。
It took John 12 days to finish this work, which features 10 distinctive characters. But some of that time was spent rebuilding pieces washed away by rain. After months of drought hit Taiwan's south, the yearly plum rains have caused some parts of the country to flood and made weather in other parts erratic. And as climate change makes weather here more violent and unpredictable, sculptors face a tougher task keeping their work intact.
其实沙雕最怕的就是台风，海浪的力量冲击到了沙雕，它只要一被带走，这些沙雕就不见了。
That's why for extra protection, the art medium sand is also used as a shield, taking the form of a 1.5-meter tall fort. It's all part of the show's design to work with and celebrate the natural resource.
我很喜欢沙的魅力，就是它可以非常多变，它不只是一个媒材，它是融入于大自然，所以我们要跟时间还有气候去抗衡。
And it's been a hit, drawing many visitors, families, and even pets.
What a wonderful day. It's a problem-free philosophy.
Despite the changing climate and variable weather, for fans of these classic fairy tales, it's hard to fight the magic in the air. John Su and Joyce Zhen for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwanese cyclists have claimed multiple medals at a competition in Malaysia. They won a combined 2 gold, 2 silver, and 6 bronze at the 2023 Asian Track Cycling Championships, which ended on Monday. The results helped cyclists Zhang Zhisheng and Huang as they try to secure spots at the upcoming Asian Games in China later this year. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, we leave you with images of cats and dogs rescued from a devastating flood in southern Ukraine last week, now living in a shelter in Kyiv. I'm Sandy Chi. Take care and see you next time.